Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 46 of the Showbound podcast. I'm your host, Michael Raskin, here alongside Ethan Cardwell. And Cards, you're back from San Jose from main camp. I think that's the first thing we got to talk about. But first of all, how are you, man?
Doing good. Obviously we checked in last week when I was there with X and everything after rookie tournament, but no, feels nice to be back in Barrie now, just kind of gearing up now with the Colts here for hopefully a championship run. So we're really excited here. And no, it was a pleasure to be in San Jose and just such a great experience for me there. And like I said before, it's just like so top notch. And then actually going in with the pros there every day. I mean, camp for a few days was pretty special just to pick up on stuff from them every day.
So let's talk about that. First of all, what maybe like a day in your life was like during main camp, and tell everybody about what it was like going on the ice with guys like Brent Burns, probably like, oh, what's his name? Did you see Carlson's haircut? Obviously you
Yeah.
did.
Yeah.
Jeez, let's talk about this stuff.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I can just run you through a quick day in the life. So like we'd wake up every morning. It would depend on what group you're in. It was split up into three groups. So you'd have group one, group two, and group three. And it would just be, we had like 50 to 60 guys at camp. So they just dispersed teams evenly amongst those, that amount of people. So then we wake up, whatever, say 7:30 wake up, you take a shuttle from the airport to the rink. You'd have a gourmet meal waiting for you, all laid out buffet style. Any drinks you could ever ask for in the world to stay hydrated, protein bars, protein shakes, whatever you need. So do that and then go get some treatment. Obviously, if you're bummed up or banged up, sorry, not bummed up. um, if you're banged up, go get some treatment. So like get in there for 30 minutes, do what you got to do, and then have video. We'd have video from like 8:30 to 8:50 just to talk about the key points for the day and really hammer it home before we go on the ice. And you really realize at that level, there's no messing around at practice. Everything's crisp on the tape and the guys know what they're doing. There's no messing up drills. So that's why they do the video and make sure everybody knows what's going on before we step on that ice. And then from there, you just do a little dynamic warm up with the trainer, make sure you're all loose and nobody's getting injured because we're not stretching out properly. And from there, you go on to practice. It's like an hour practice, a lot of battle drills, high tempo. Obviously, the best of the best being out there with Brent Burns, Logan Couture, guys like that. So, and then after practice, a little 15-minute conditioning skate, and then we're right back in the gym for a post-practice workout. Grab a protein shake, do the workout on the board. Trainers will walk you through anything you need as well. And then after that, yeah, you go down and you get another gourmet meal, which includes steak, I don't know, anything you want, pork chops, ribs, anything you can really imagine they got for you there. So we were eating pretty nice to say the least. And it was, and then the recovery is awesome. They got the sauna, hot tub, cold tub. It's pretty sweet. So the body feels good coming back from there. I was definitely doing some good recovery after every practice.
That's sick, man. I guess like, do you have anything else you want to talk about from Sharks Camp before we move on? I know there's a lot, but yeah, I mean, anything else?
I know we have such like a younger like listening group, like a lot of people who listen to the pod are like younger aspiring athletes and stuff like that. And it's just like, for me, it's like a little bit eye opening my first camp. Like you see how good these guys actually are and like what they do and what they put in, like the work they put in to be at that level and maintain it. And I thought I was getting there, like when the shuttles picked us up early at 7:30 in the morning, and Burns has already been there for 30 minutes stretching out. And yeah, and that's a guy who's making 8 or 9 million, a guy who doesn't have to be in there that early, but he just wants to be the best every day and really show what he has and just perform for himself and become better for his team. So I think it's really important, the small details, especially as a young athlete, doing those from a young age is really going to help you out in the long run and just kind of build good habits and be a pro like that. Because if you're not a pro, they have no time for you at that level.
Yeah, I love that. I hope maybe you can go there and talk to the media guys and give us some podcast tips too, and how we can be pros on here. Speaking of that, actually, I'll address my background behind me situation, and we're gonna talk about yours. But yeah, because like last week we talked about how I'm moving out. I move in on Thursday to my new place. So right now I'm just sitting for the YouTube viewers. They could see like just a regular door behind me, not my usual setup because I moved it, but the new setup, Cardsy, you saw it, eh? It looks good. Actually, what do you think of my apartment? I sent you the video.
Yeah, man, it looks good. It definitely looks sick. You got it's just for you though, eh? You don't have
Yeah,
any
it's my own
roommates
place,
like
no
that.
roomies.
Yeah. Yeah, it's nice. You got a nice little setup there. You got the TV, little kitchen going on. I saw you have way too many pairs of shoes though. I saw all those hanging up, but then the pod setup looks nice, and I love those pucks laid out there. So I think
Yeah,
you'll love it there, man. The bed looks pretty good too.
queen size bed. So, but I'm excited. I'm excited to get going there. But yeah, and then what's up with your background, man? Everyone wants to know when you're gonna get the berry setup going. You're gonna be there a while.
Yeah, like I just moved in, like just moved back in from San Jose today. I mean, like we've been kind of on a time crunch and everything like that for this week's episode and everything. So I didn't have time to get anything rolling, but I'm sure we have probably another 5 days until we record our next one. So I'm gonna have some time, do some brainstorming. Um, and yeah, I'm gonna figure something out. I gotta clean this up for sure. I gotta get some jerseys. I gotta talk to my parents, get them to bring some down when they come to the game. But Showbound backgrounds will be back in no time. Don't sleep on it.
All right, love it. Now let's mention our guest. We had a very highly requested guest, Akil Thomas, LA Kings prospect, played for the Ontario Reign last year in the AHL. Has a lot going on off the ice, which we talk about. A really good interview. He's a friend of mine from years ago that we kind of lost touch a bit, and it was good to just talk to him again and kind of hear what's going on with him. So it was a good interview, a longer one, as you can probably see by the length of this episode. But I'm excited to get that one out. And yeah, a couple things I wanted to say. Actually, Card, here's one I wanted to talk to you about. Someone DM'd us about doing Showbound vlogs. And I like more so for you. I don't see how I would really do it unless it was like about editing and recording and stuff, but about maybe like a day in the life for you vlog or something on the YouTube. With that, what do you think of that?
You want me to do one today?
That'd be kind of sick. Oh yeah, we'll have to maybe stage this recording part in the morning. We'll get someone to film like we're on again for the vlog.
Yeah, man. No, I'm gonna do the exact same thing. I just like gonna go from here because like I'm legit just woke up anyway, so we can do it from here and just keep rolling.
Yeah, that'd be sick. And then get some good YouTube stuff, grow the channel. So I like that. That's awesome. Another thing I wanted to mention actually, I texted this to you, but my roommate, my old roommate at Brock, Jake Gilmore refed a preseason OHL game last or 2 nights ago or something, the Ice Dogs game, and I thought that was crazy, and it was so funny. He FaceTimed me from the rink. The funny thing is, Marty used to coach him, like he played for the Ice Dogs, and I remember like he was saying that he kicked one of the Ice Dogs guys out of the draw, and because he was a linesman, and the Ice Dogs guy was giving it to him like, what do you mean I didn't go early, like whatever it is, and he's like, shut up, buddy, like I was an Ice Dog too once.
But
So
if your buddy throws me in the box or no, I guess he can't. Just a linesman right now, but kicks me out of a draw, he's done. I'm gonna start ripping him.
See, he loves the pod, and I told him I'm gonna be talking about it, so he'll hear this, but maybe you'll get the calls going Barry's way just because he's a fan of the pod.
Yeah, no, he can definitely help out there. We need some power plays, so get me out there.
Yeah, and then I had two things noted down I wanted to talk about, but maybe the first one, have you updated your phone to iOS 15?
All right. So this is an interesting one. I've been getting ripped about this for like the past 2 weeks in San Jose. And I'm hanging out with guys every day who are on entry level deals, blah, 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 blah. They got the iPhone 13s, whatever. So Rask, I don't even think you know this. I have an iPhone 8 right now.
Okay.
So just a bunk phone. It's terrible. So it's got cracks on the back and stuff. So I don't even know what updates I'm on. My phone's so old. It's laggy. It dies after like 20 minutes. Like it's a bit of a joke. Like I got to clean up my act here in terms of getting a new phone. But so no. So you
Okay.
continue with your story.
That's hilarious. Well, I just want to say like iOS 15 sucks, man. It's so bad. It's an optional update, I think right now. But I chose to update it because my buddies did it and they said, oh, it's like you should update, whatever. And it makes my phone looks so bad. I hate the way like the operating system is now. Like notification messages look different, everything looks different, but only like a tiny bit different, but enough to piss me off. Like it's enough of a change that it's annoying, and you can't go back once you change it. So I'm kind of pissed about it.
Yeah, but you notice like I see it like all the time, like when Snapchat updates and stuff like that, Instagram, like it was brutal Instagram at first, but now I'm just like used to it. So like I feel like you'll come around to it
Yeah.
after 2 or 3 weeks.
And actually, dude, when Instagram changed, they put the little shop thing where your profile used to be like, what is that? That still pisses me off, but you're right. I don't notice it, but it's still ridiculous.
Yeah, it's absurd, it's terrible, but you know what? That's how it went, and now like it's just second nature for us. So like I mean, I think
Yeah.
that happens all the time.
We just know not to click the shop button.
Yeah,
Um,
unless you're shopping Showbound merch.
exactly. There it is. Okay, one more thing I want to say. Roll up the rim is back. Uh, now Cardsy knows I've been winning lately, so I won a free coffee, which is common, but I also won a $20 gift card to Skull Candy, like the headphone place. I don't know. I haven't looked at the website yet, but um I've never won more than a coffee, and it was such a thrill. It was the thrill of like that no one can describe winning that. So it's like gambling, man. You buy something and you're like, oh, I need to win another coffee here. Like I just want to encourage everyone to go out and get some roll up the rim. So did you get any coffees or anything, Cards?
Yeah, I drink French vanillas, baby. So I actually, you know what? Now that you say that, I'm gonna go get one on the way to the rink today with Lemmer.
But you need the app too. Make sure you get the app because that's how you do it
Yeah,
now. Yeah.
COVID. Some
Okay.
huge news from the golf world this week. Team USA dominated at the Ryder Cup, so I was really happy about that. As everyone knows, I'm a dual citizen, so I was obviously riding for the US. And I know you talked about it. Your pick was Bryson dominating, and he did. He was hitting some long balls out there, 417, I believe. Like it's getting ridiculous now, and good to see him and Brooks Koepka make up out there, and just some amazing golf played by the Americans. And that's a team to be a force for years to come because of how young they are and they understand the real meaning of it now. They're a true team. They don't resent each other, anything like that. They're all there for the right reason, and that's why they won so big this week. What are your thoughts?
Well, I think as a non-golf fan, like I like golf, but I wouldn't say like I'm a fan necessarily. I don't know much. It was so entertaining, man. It was the most entertaining golf I've ever seen. The crowds were crazy. They were interacting with them too. Like, the players talk with the crowds and they're like waving their arms. Even the European guys, like getting everybody fired up. Um, Obviously Bryson was hitting bombs. I saw the one, it was a par four, like 400, and he drove the little bunker that was like right beside the green on 400, like 397, I think. Um,
Yeah,
just crazy. I saw this one video of Bryson, like he took out the 3 wood. I think it might have even been a par four as well, and everyone was like booing, and he was like, "No, don't worry, I'm still going for the green here." Um,
yeah,
just like it was so sick to watch. I like I didn't even watch. I just saw a bunch of clips and highlights, and it was just getting me fired up. Like the fans were crazy. Um, I'm happy that the U.S. won. Just I don't really care, but just because I said it on the pod last week. Um, so it was entertaining, man. It was a good tournament.
and dude, that's probably the first one you've ever like actually like paid attention to and stuff. Just wait 2 years until it's in Europe. You should see the European fans. They're nuts, man. They go so crazy for this event, and it's so fun to watch. Like the Americans and the European fans go at it and stuff, and they'll shush the crowd and they'll give it to them and they'll give it right back. So the
Yeah,
Ryder Cup,
actually, I
I
saw
think,
the one European guy. He just hit a bomb driver after everyone was like going like USA, and then he just puts his ear up after he smashes the drive or his hand up
yeah,
to his ear. I mean, it was sick.
and I think it's undoubtedly the best event in all of golf. So we don't need to touch on it all day. We got a big interview, and I'll let you send it off.
Yeah, it's a longer one, so we'll send it over to Akil Thomas now. Okay, now we're gonna welcome a very highly requested guest to the podcast, Akil Thomas. How's it going, man?
Not too bad. Yourself?
Pretty good. It's good to see you again, man. Actually, it's been a while since we've really talked. I guess. Well, let me give a little background for the listeners. So I was back when I was scouting for the Niagara Ice Dogs. Was the year we drafted Akil, where I met him there, and I was living in Niagara. and I'd see him all the time basically, and that sort of stuff. And then as we both got older and progressed in our careers, we kind of just like didn't see each other around anymore. So now it's just good to catch up, man. So it's good. So where are you at right now?
I'm at my house in LA right now. I live in Redondo Beach.
Okay, and you were at Manhattan Beach before?
I was in Hermosa before, but it's literally like 5 minutes away.
Okay, I saw you had a house like legit on the beach, right?
Yeah, man, it was pretty sick. It was probably 3-minute walk to the water, maybe. Like that's kind of a lot actually. It was like you could basically see the water from my front door. So it was really, really
Okay, that's sick. You're a beach guy, right? Like I feel like you do. I always see you out there like playing cornhole with Q.
yeah. Yeah, like I mean I grew up in Florida, right? So
Yeah.
pretty much on the beach growing up all the time. And then any vacation growing up, we'd go to Barbados because my mom's from there. So yeah, I would say I'm a very beachy guy.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, like, what's your summer been looking like? I know you were back and forth, like LA here or here as in like Toronto. So what have you been up to?
Yeah, I actually had double shoulder surgery this summer. So I actually went home for 8 days. Been here pretty much the whole summer, just going to rehab every single day for my shoulder. So it's kind of been a grind actually. But it's been good obviously to get the best rehab I can get and to get it like 4 days a week. Doing the
Is
right
this gonna fix your like you've had shoulder problems for a while now, right? Like, is this gonna
yeah.
solve that?
Yeah, so I guess my third year in the O, I like messed up my shoulder pretty good, tore both my labrums, and just try to like ride it out and not get surgery. We were going for it my third year, so like
Yeah.
I was not down to miss that year. Obviously, it was a tragedy the way we lost, but it is what it is. My shoulder is kind of healed after that, and then like I guess like once a season, I've just kind of popped them out, and it wasn't like terrible, but just like the staff was like going forward, like you're gonna have problems with it, like you did this year, so you might as well just get it done. So that's just kind of what I did, and hopefully I only miss like a month of the season.
Yeah, that's nuts. Did you play in the tournament last week then or no? No.
No, I'm not
Yeah.
allowed to skate with anyone else right now. I've been just started skating like 3 weeks ago maybe. So
Okay. So you're just on your own out there bag skating.
yeah, like the skates are not fun right now. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I've been in your shoes before for sure, but mostly as a scratch, right? So, but we want to kind of send it back to like the start of your OHL career, and then we'll work our way forward from there. You want to tell us a little bit about your rookie season? Like you had 48 points in 60 games, which is a hell of a start for a 16-year-old in the OHL. So, how was that adjustment for you to the OHL level?
Honestly, it was really hard. I remember like the year before, I'd go to like the London Niagara games like in the playoffs, and I remember looking at my dad being like, I don't think I can make this league next year. I was like, this is crazy. So definitely was a hard adjustment at the beginning. I mean, I got a lot of points and stuff, but I found it pretty hard to be honest. Obviously, towards the end of the year, I started doing a lot better and feeling like I belong there and stuff. So it was a good year. Like we were rebuilding teams, so I didn't have much competition in terms of like power play and like lines. Like I was first line and like first power play from day one, basically. So I was really lucky. Like no one really gets to have that opportunity their first year, so I was like extremely lucky.
Yeah, it's obviously a pretty sick opportunity when you go in there, play unreal minutes coming out of the gate. And that wasn't the only like kind of big thing you did that year. You played for Team Canada with the U17s and U18s that season. So you want to just talk about like the development and kind of starting on your way to, as we'll talk about later, the golden goal with Team Canada and everything like that, how those tournaments went?
Yeah, so U17s are kind of a grind. I think everyone kind of knows that it's tough, right? Because there's so many good players in Canada, and obviously there's 3 teams, but still, like, coaches aren't familiar with you, all that stuff. So U17 is tough. Obviously, had a really good year, so I was, lucky enough to get invited to the U18s, and like it's a weird tournament because every other team has like all their guys basically, and Canada always has like only the Canadians that aren't in playoffs really, like aren't deep in the playoffs. So it's always a weird tournament. I was like lucky to be there because like certain teams won who had guys they were going to send and basically like kick me off the team. So I was lucky. I was like one of the few who got to stay. So that was like, it was good to just kind of experience. I didn't like play much, but it was good to just kind of be around the guys. And obviously when your foot's in the door with Hockey Canada, it can kind of help you down the road. So I guess that was, U17s, U18s, my first couple of steps, and putting my foot in the door with Hockey Canada there.
Yeah, and obviously Hockey Canada loves you, and we'll get into that later on. But actually, just like speaking about that first year in the the year before, like you'd already been drafted to Niagara. I'm wondering if you remember. Do you remember when I picked you up and we went shooting on those goalies at Etobicoke,
Yeah, I
Cameron?
do remember that. Yeah.
Do you
It's a
remember?
long time ago.
Do you remember? I still talk about this with my buddy, the goalie, but I was like so bad at shooting, and I would just nail the goalies in the head like repeatedly. And that the goalie coach, I forget his name, was screaming at me on the ice. Do you remember that?
Andy Chiodo?
Was
Is
that
that
was
it?
that his name?
Think so, because I kept in contact with him after that. Like the goalie coach, I'm pretty sure, and like I shot for him like a couple of years ago. Like Spezza shoots for him, so I think he actually he retired, that goalie coach, and then went back to playing in like Italy or something. I've kind
Oh,
of
really?
followed his journey. Yeah, it's
That's
kind of
sick.
interesting stuff.
Well, he was crazy cards. This guy, so I just like can't aim, man. And I'm pegging goal. There was another goalie there who played in the OHL as well. I was just like so bad, and I just kept hitting the goalies in the head. And finally, the goalie coach starts screaming at me. He's like, "Just stop shooting!" Like all like getting all
Well,
mad. It was so embarrassing.
I think it's got to be on him. First off, for bringing a muppy like you out there to shoot on goalies, like it's either going to be one of two. You're going to start ringing them off the guy's dome, or they're just going to make easy stops all night with your flutter pucks. So, come on.
Oh man, but see, they bring me out because then I got Akil out, so it works. And then actually shout out to Akil because he paid Akil for coming out, and Akil gave me the money. So good guy move.
Really?
Yeah,
Shit.
yeah, that was a good guy
Yeah,
move
you
by
want that back now, eh? That's your payment for coming on the pod today. Get that back.
I love how he didn't pay you. Like he just paid me.
No, I know. I was like, come on, but yeah, no, that was hilarious. And then but yeah, so okay, well, let's talk about your draft year there quick. You had a big draft year with the Ice Dogs, 81 points, and projected first round all season, and even like into the draft. So first of all, before we talk about the actual draft, just what was your draft season like for you, being kind of like a top guy? Everyone was kind of talking about you there.
Um, I guess before, like obviously I had big expectations because obviously I had a pretty good rookie year, so I was like ready to, show myself even more because your first year you're like obviously timid out there, you're young, you're weak, you're not fast, so I was like really trying to dial down, and like that summer leading up to a draft year, I was really excited. I was really nervous just because I knew there was like a lot of pressure because I had such a good first year. So, I mean, yeah, like the year went like okay. I had my ups and downs. Had good games, had bad games. I guess like my consistency wasn't there. Like I would have really good games and then just be kind of invisible other games. So it was tough mentally. Like that year was definitely hard. Obviously, my dad's pretty hard on me. So that was probably the toughest year of hockey I've had, just because of all the things that go with it, like making the prospects game and the central scouting lists that come out all the time. Trying to make the combine, all that stuff, right? There's so many things that are going on, and like U18s at the end of the year, all that stuff. So, yeah, I mean, it was like definitely not my favorite year of hockey, but it made me learn a lot, to be honest, and definitely kind of lit a fire under me to kind of be an even better player than maybe I would have been. So,
And then I remember in the draft, because I remember I was really pumped for you. And I was like watching your snap stories and stuff. And I think, well, I'll let you tell it, but the way you went to the draft and then how the draft went for you the first night and the second day, like, can you just tell us all about that?
yeah, actually, like growing up, I had an RV. So, like my family, we would just buzz to different cities basically with our RV in the summer. So, we figured it was only right if we took an RV down to the draft in Dallas. And so that's like a pretty good drive from Toronto to Dallas. So like we've had a lot of people in that thing too. Like I don't even know off the top of my head, but I want to say like more than 10. Like it was crazy. So it was jam packed. Definitely like the best trip of my life, even though maybe not ended up the way I wanted to, but like the whole trip was like for me basically. So it was crazy. But yeah, I mean, like you said, I was projected first round the whole year, and 81 points is pretty good for like a draft eligible. So I had high expectations, even though I didn't have a great season or like I had a pretty bad ending to it too. But I kind of just hoped like, well, they've seen me play for 2 years, and yeah, I had my bad games, but definitely had my good ones. So hopefully, some teams believe in me. And honestly, just because I wasn't prepared, like if any list had me like second round or third round, or someone told me like, hey, like you might slip, like then I'd kind of prepare myself and be like, yeah, like no problem, like whatever, like I can't really control anything at this point. I can't play anymore. So I just had no idea that I was gonna slip or anything. So it did kind of hit me pretty hard. Just because I had like obviously so many emotions, my family's like all with me, people flying in, like literally I had like family fly in like just for that night, and like they were leaving the next morning because they had like other things to do. So like it was just shitty because I felt like I had plans the next day with my family. Like I just felt like I kind of like messed up the whole weekend by like slipping basically. So it's pretty tough. Honestly, it was one of the toughest days of my life, to be honest, just because it just hit me hard and I had no idea it was coming. So yeah, that was tough. But honestly, like I think just because I had such opportunity in Niagara, and like I was kind of like the guy from day one, I just got pretty comfortable with like how I was as a hockey player, and like pretty um like just content with who I was. Like, I mean, I'm pretty dedicated, but it definitely lit a fire under me, and like I think it's definitely the reason why like hopefully maybe I'll play in the NHL. Like before, I like I just I was just complacent. You know what I mean? I felt like I could kind of do whatever I want and like have off nights, get my 2 points, and like shut it down basically. So definitely like humbled me and made me a lot hungrier because like I feel like I have a lot of people to prove wrong, and that's why I like try to do the things I do every day to try to get better. So
Yeah, that's very well said, man. And I remember I think it was like the pick before you the Leafs were picking. And I remember watching the draft. I was at work and I was like, the Leafs are gonna get a Keel. This is gonna be the sickest thing of my life. And then you go the one after. I was so mad.
it was
Was
the
that?
pick after. So like obviously I grew up in Toronto. Like I saw it coming, and it was pretty late. So I'm like, I mean, hopefully I can go around here too. That'd be pretty cool. I thought like I had a good feeling LA was gonna take me, but obviously like when you see like LA and Toronto like as logos on the jumbotron, I was like, whoa, like the Leafs are right here. And then obviously like LA took me, and like I was super pumped. And
Yeah.
like every feeling of like the night before like completely went away, to be honest, just because like I knew they wanted me the most just from like interviews and um the combine and everything. Like I knew if they could snag me they would. So definitely like way more comforting knowing I was going to a place who liked me.
Did you get any interesting like interview questions at the combine and stuff from teams? Anything stick out like funny maybe?
I think just Montreal kind of asked me if like my clothing company would get in the way of my hockey, and then I was just like, no, like it's not that serious. And then the guy just kept asking me like multiple times, so I was like, no, like
Yeah, I'm gonna quit the NHL and focus on Zale
yeah.
for a bit.
Well, I mean, it's kind of a fair question if it was like bigger at the time, but like it was not big, so I was just like, I mean, no, like no way.
Well,
Yeah.
we're gonna get into Zale as well. Cardsy, do you want to jump in?
Yeah, bro. Cause like similar to this, like, cause everyone knows obviously I'm a golfer and everything. Like, there was like a multiple teams who would like call my agent and be like, "Is this guy a golfer or a hockey player?" And like, I haven't played like a competitive tournament. I haven't played a tournament in like 2 years, and I'm like, "No, like I'm a hockey player. What do you mean?" And they're like, "I don't know. We have some doubts about it." Like,
Yeah, I
what's
mean,
going on?
though, like, I guess like their job's kind of on the line too. So if they pick you and you're just like, you know what, I'm just gonna play golf, then like it looks bad on them. They can get fired basically, not knowing, you know.
Yeah, they got to do the background info. That's just funny. Like your clothing brand, my golf, like they dig real deep into it, and like calling billets and stuff too. Like they do the homework for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's a really fascinating process, but I'll flip it over to cards in a sec. But I'm just curious about your 100-point season in Niagara following the draft. Like obviously confidence being drafted, bigger role, like older guy, but just that season how it went, and then just talk about signing a contract from there, and like if you bought anything maybe.
That season, my third year, like the only thing, like I had three things in my mind. I had like to basically sign a contract at some point, to try to make World Junior Camp, and to, what was the third thing? Oh, just to like have like a bunch of points and just be like,
Got 100 points.
so yeah, like that was, obviously we were a sick team. Like that was like one of the best like OHL teams on paper, I think, in a while, obviously, other than London and stuff like that. But we were pretty stacked. Like my first year, I was on the first line. My third year, I was on the third. So like we were pretty stacked up. And
Who'd you guys pick up again that year?
Robertson, Stanika, Broussard.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, like I remember my first game with Robertson. Like we had 3 points like going into the third period, or no, we had like 3 points at like half of the game, so middle of the second period. And I remember I was like, if we keep this up, like we'll get six. And he looks and he's like, wouldn't be my first time. So I was like, yeah, so that was funny. But no, we had like that year was fun. Honestly, we didn't even have to try that hard. We were just all like, like I think we had like 10 NHL signed guys or something. It was crazy. Like
Man, what a team.
we picked up Laudnia too, like Jones. We had a bunch of guys who were.
So wait, where did you guys go in the playoffs that year? I don't know why I can't remember this.
We lost to Oshawa.
Hey,
yeah.
and you know what the best part about that one was, Rask? The fact that they traded for Stanika and sent Morsey there, and then Morsey cleans them up in the playoffs.
Honestly, it's still a touchy subject. I don't like talking about it.
So I can only imagine, man.
I'm not
You
really
guys
doing that.
give away your young guy, and then it just stabs you in the back. But Oshawa kind of loaded up a little bit too that year. They had good OAs like Salinitri and those guys.
So that was weird, like, because like they could have easily gone for it, and then they just traded their captain and their best defenseman. So it was like, what the hell? Like, why would you even give us like those guys? I don't know. It was weird, but obviously, like we were going for it, and like I remember, like I actually messed up my shoulder. Like I tore my labrum in the last game of the North Bay series. Like literally, like I won the draw with 26 seconds left. Like series is done. We iced the puck, and like I was skating up the ice, and this guy like cross-checked me like twice, and like I tore my labrum. Like literally, like the series is
No
over.
way.
So,
Who was the guy? Can you call him out?
I don't know if I want to. I don't know.
Fine, all right. Easy way out.
So, anyways, that was shitty just because I missed like the first few games of that series, and I think I don't remember how we went up or whatever, but I remember we lost two games while I was out, and after the second one, like I was just like, I'm playing next game, so I basically like convinced a lot of people to let me play, and then like I remember just thinking like, imagine if we lost to this team who we just bought off of, and then we did, and it was the worst hockey feeling I've ever had in my life.
Actually, like, because Rask, like I remember this too because we were in the Western Conference Final, and that was only in the second round. Too. Yeah. And like we were all like thinking, okay, like Niagara or Ottawa is going to come out of the East here for sure, and then that was kind of devastating. But like, yeah, that was crazy. But I don't know. We don't have to keep talking about it if you don't want. I know Rask asked, you make any big purchases when you signed?
I signed in March, actually, on the way to a game in Barrie on the bus, and in September I bought like a car. That's pretty much it.
Okay, that night in Barrie, you light it up?
that night, so that was a good day because I signed like my contract that day on the bus, and I hit 100 points that day. So that was a pretty sick day.
Yeah, you can't complain too much about that. And like, we want to keep going. Like, obviously, you went over to the Pete's, but like first, so you get named captain the Ice Dogs and everything, and obviously big man on campus. And you guys knew you kind of had to, you were going to get traded, and same with Tomasino, just to get the picks back that they lost the year before. So how did it come to be? How did you find out you were traded?
Well, I kind of knew like going into the year that it was likely I was going to get traded because we were like, on paper we weren't looking too good, and they needed some picks and everything. So, like it was weird because I thought that I was going to go into the year like whatever, first time seeing like GM coaching, maybe like have a quick conversation about it. But we didn't talk about it until like I got back from World Juniors. So like literally the first time we talked about it was like, well, what team are you going to, basically? So like we obviously weren't great that year, but we found a way to beat some pretty good teams. So like that year, like obviously I spent a lot of time in Niagara. So I was trying to tell the guys like, let's just try to win and see if like everyone can stay, and we could just like go to the second round and lose. Like, you know what I mean? I didn't care. So I was just like obviously me, Ladnia were the older guys, Tomasino. So like if we kind of could put like one guy on each line, like we could be like, okay. And we beat like Ottawa. We beat pretty much I think we beat every like top team at least once, like even in the West somehow, just because teams would take us lightly or whatever. So I was hoping I didn't get traded. I was hoping they'd keep me, but obviously went to World Juniors, and I knew it was kind of going to happen because we were on the edge of playoffs, and they just like they were going to scrap the year basically and whatever. So yeah, went to World Juniors and came back and like just had no idea what I was going to do, and I had to make my mind up in like 48 hours, I think. And there's a couple options, and I think in a couple years I can get into like the specifics of like kind of what happened and everything. Still kind of fresh, but it was a crazy experience with like OHL. I think OHL insiders tweeted like he talked to my billet dad or something, and like I don't know, it was weird. Like a bunch of rumors flying around and stuff like that. So yeah, I think like the three main teams were Ottawa, London, and Peterborough. And I honestly just wanted to go to the team who was going to give Niagara like the most for me, and that like I felt like I could win there. Like I didn't really care. Like that was my last year in the O, so I just wanted to win and like go to a team who could like use me. And Peterborough, obviously they needed the centerman, so it was perfect.
Yeah, because I remember hearing so much rumors about that, and like everyone's saying different things about what was happening with the trade. And obviously, we'll get you on in a few years to re-explain the story in full depth. Yeah. But just like quickly, because obviously everyone wants to hear about the World Jays and stuff, but we just want to quickly know about Peterborough. Everyone has different opinions on Peterborough. I'm not a huge fan of playing there on the road and stuff, and I'm sure you probably weren't even a fan of playing there on the road. So you,
yeah, to be honest, I'm not a fan of the rink. I hate the rink, to be honest. Obviously I got used to it, and I ended up like, feeling like it was a home game every time I went there. But for the first few weeks, it was like playing on the road every game, especially because that year they had renovations early on in the year. So they're on the road the first like 25 games. So the last half, they were like at home for 75% of the games. So it kind of screwed me even more. I was like, so yeah, that was the only part of Peterborough that I didn't like, to be honest. The rink. Other than that, like I guess like kind of the years before that, like you hear guys like not reporting to Peterborough, and like you kind of just wonder why. Like, is it just the rink? They don't develop players. Like, what is it? So kind of before the trade, I was like, I was kind of hesitant, to be honest, just because you hear those stories, right? But honestly, I went there and I loved it. Like the coaches were unbelievable. Like the staff were like beauties. My billets were like unreal. I lived with Michael Little and I played with him on the Marlies for like 3 years. So he was like one of my best friends before that too. So honestly, the group of guys we had there were one of the best group of guys I've ever been a part of. Like it was, I only played there for 2 months, but I feel like I played there for 2 years, to be honest. Like I loved playing there. I loved it.
Yeah, a lot of people do say that about Peterborough, and I was just at camp with Gallant, obviously, and he was obviously your captain there, and he just said it was a tight group, obviously, not the greatest arena or whatever, but yeah, he said the boys had a good time and everything. So let's get into the part everyone's wanting to hear about now. Canada's hero at the World Juniors with the golden goal and everything. But before we get into the golden goal, could you just like tell us about the experience for you playing in the World Juniors and what an honor?
Yeah, obviously, like I grew up like watching the World Juniors every year. So when I made the team, it was actually pretty special. Like even before I played a game, like obviously like you're like one of the guys and it's just like you made the team. But to me it was like wow, like I grew up watching this religiously every year, like every game, knew like all the lines, like really follow the tournament. So it was like a weird moment because I was gonna be like the guys I used to watch on TV. So it was crazy just to make the team. And then obviously, every game is so hyped up. Like back home, everyone's like getting together for the games. And so like I knew, every mistake like everyone makes, like guys are gonna get ripped on Twitter. It's just like it's so like the tournament's so magnified and it was cool to be a part of. So yeah, like obviously like every guy on a world junior team is used to playing every other shift in major junior. So like not playing was really, really tough on me just because like I've never not played in my life. You know what I mean? Especially my first year. Like I made the adjustment. I was like, yeah, whatever. So it was tough mentally to just kind of be like, like they don't want you to play as much as like the other guys. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, I was like, whatever. I'm just gonna like show up to practice tomorrow, work as hard as I can, and hopefully it changes. Like it's pretty much all you can do. But that month it was a tough month. Didn't sleep much at all. I was just like anxious every day, every minute of every day. Probably slept like 4 or 5 hours a night. It was terrible. Like I was trying melatonin, didn't help. Like it was like I'd be on my phone like 4:30, like the night before a game, just being like, I can't even sleep, so I may as well do something. Like it was bad.
That's real bad. And you guys were overseas there too. So like what was the living arrangement like? Couldn't have been amazing.
So we were at a hotel and like the beds are small, the room was hot. You know what I mean? It was a tough one. So that definitely contributed to like sleep. But so many nights I'd literally just go in the shower at like 2:30 because I had to do something. You know what I mean? So yeah, that was it was a hard month, but obviously I just kept on somehow like I kept on like kind of telling myself like it was all gonna work out. I'm gonna get promoted or I'm gonna get an opportunity. Like I just was cool about it and didn't, get too upset, just try to work hard. So I mean, yeah, definitely like, there like every moment until the last game was like pretty tough on me, but it all paid off and obviously scoring that goal was like the proudest thing I guess I can say about myself like ever. And yeah, like it was crazy. It was nuts.
Yeah, dude, because I remember like I was playing in SAG at the time and we were just about to go on the ice for a game and I think it was like an afternoon or maybe a 5:30 game, something like that. I don't totally remember, but we were all like we had like 5 minutes to warm up, and normally everyone's like getting ready to go on the ice and stuff. We're all in our half gear in the lounge, like watching the game, just like cheering for the boys, and then sure enough, you go down and do your magic. Yeah, and can you just like take us through the goal, like when you got the puck, like what was going through your head, and then after, like just how cool the feeling was?
Yeah, I mean, like when I heard my name get called, I like knew it was gonna be like my last shift for sure. So I was just like, I'm gonna go out there and just like skate as fast as I can for as long as I can, and like hopefully something cool happens. And that's pretty much all I got here. So, like I don't remember anything really. Like I don't even know how the play developed. I just remember like the puck going D to D, and just thinking like, I'm just gonna fly and see what happens. And I just started skating, and like I think like it hit McMichael's skate, which hit my stick, which went like perfectly between the D's like skates or something. But like, and then the goalie hesitated to come out, because if he comes out and I walk around him, he looks like an idiot. So I don't like blame him for like not coming out with 3 minutes left in like the biggest game of his life. But I think if you look kind of back to it, I think he could have got to it. And then like, it's all reaction there, right? Like I don't remember what I was thinking. You just kind of do type of thing. But one thing I will say is like when like a video pops up of it or something, like it kind of seems like I'm watching someone else, just because I don't remember actually being mentally present in like the moment type of thing. So
That's
like
crazy.
like it's pretty cool, but like I don't remember it. It's just like, I guess it's pretty sick. Yeah.
And then actually, can you tell us about all the things that kind of came after that? You were doing so many cool things in the media, like partnering up with, I don't know, like brands, like influencers, like whatever. Like, just tell us about that feeling for the following couple months.
Well, yeah, I felt like a celebrity for like 2 months. Like no, not 2 months, 2 weeks. Like it was crazy. Just like interviews on interviews on interviews, and honestly, it was such a whirlwind. Like I don't even remember the things I was doing. I just remember being like, yeah, I'm free. Like, no, I'm not. It was pretty busy, but obviously I got traded, and I just kind of wanted to focus on hockey. So it was kind of tough for a bit, just because like everyone's like calling me, trying to get a hold of me and stuff like that. But just want to focus on like where I was and what I was trying to do at the same time. So
Didn't you guys didn't you meet, like, you were skating with the Nauk boys, you went to the game, Toronto game, right?
oh, okay, yeah. So I don't know why I didn't say that. I totally forgot about it. But yeah, I like dropped the puck at the Leafs game with the boys, and we had our own suite, crushing hot dogs all night. Uh, they were playing Winnipeg, went into like double overtime or something. Sick game, not double overtime, but sick game to watch. And we were just like the guests, I guess, there. And then I got invited to a Raptors game, actually, to sit courtside with my roommate, Michael Little. So that was like really cool. I guess like the only like part that was crazy was like they asked me to wear my medal, so I just had it in my pocket, and then like someone ran up to me and was like, "Put your medal on," and then they're like, "Hey, like the Jumbotron like put their camera on me," and like I don't really like attention, so I was like, "Oh God, like what's going on?" And then they're like, "Can you please like stand up?" And I got like a standing ovation. So that was like, it was obviously like,
Damn.
cool to say, but like in the moment I was like, "Get these cameras off me and get me out of here." And then like after that, like people I guess who I knew in Toronto were texting me saying like they're at the same game and stuff like that. And I actually met a couple people from like the I guess like the Maple Leaf Sports Entertainment staff that I still keep in contact with now. Like even like the interview people and stuff like that who work for TSM. Like it was like pretty cool night. Yeah.
Yeah. So Akil, I know in your the year you started you were going to be in the AHL, you ended up in Germany. Can you tell us about that experience? You went with a good group of young guys, and I remember like, playing in you were in a huge rink, like Six City, and just tell us about that experience.
Yeah, that was crazy, man. Just kind of sitting at home for so long, and then just I actually was so kind of fed up of being in Toronto and like just doing the same thing every day, that I just like got up and drove to LA with my brother. So that was a 39-hour trip, and I just kind of planned on training the rest of the summer there, and like just going into the season of like having hopes of it. So I got there, quarantined for like my 2 weeks, started working out. Um, I guess on the Thursday, like on my first week working out, they're like, "Hey, like uh, we may have an opportunity for you to play overseas." So I was like, okay, cool. And then Saturday they're like, hey, like, so you're getting on a plane tomorrow to go to Germany. And then like my little brother was still with me, so I was like, oh, okay. Like I got to book a flight for my little brother to go back home, and everything kind of happened really quick. So really quick turnaround from just kind of chilling at home to driving to LA to playing in Germany and living with a bunch of the guys. So like it was really cool to kind of experience and like, live in Germany, adjust to like playing pro for the first time, playing in that sick barn, and just like, I guess living with 4 other guys same age, and like we had a lot of fun, to be honest. Like we had to quarantine a couple times, so we had a lot of time with each other. We were with each other all day every day for 3 months. So
Yeah. How old's your brother now?
13.
So, and he flew home on his own and stuff. He's probably 12.
Yeah, he's used to doing that. He's done that a couple times. So
Not bad. I remember he used to be back like when we were hanging out and stuff, he used to be really involved. And I remember one time he added me on Snap and I had no clue who it was. And you said he adds everybody on Snap that you know.
Oh yeah, he used to do that. He used to be like weird like that. I don't know, but I remember this kid was like 11 years old and had like 8,000 followers on Instagram. It was crazy.
Yeah.
It was nuts. This guy he's something else.
Oh man, is he pretty good at hockey or what?
Oh, he quit hockey.
No way. All he would do was like stick handle and stuff.
I know, and like post videos of him shooting pucks and stuff,
Yeah.
but he's a way different guy now. Like he hung out with me and my friends like way too much. So he's 13, but he seems like he's 18, I swear. Like
Yeah.
like when I chill with him, like it's like I'm chilling with like just a kid like a couple years younger than me. So he's really mature now. He's playing basketball and he's doing his thing.
Is he tall?
Yeah, he's like probably 5'8", 5'9".
Oh, well, okay, yeah, well. Anyway, moving on. Got a little sidetracked, but let's talk about the AHL. You played in Ontario, like we said, live on the beach. Like, tell us about that season on and off the ice, and just how it was the adjustment for you playing pro for a full year.
Yeah, definitely like another weird experience, just because I got a COVID test every single day of that season, so it was different wearing a mask at the rink, not being able to like hang out with our teammates like outside of the rink, like not being able to give guys rides home like from the rink. It was weird. So it was fun though. Obviously, living in LA for the first time was really cool. And, just playing pro hockey and playing in front of, well, I mean, we were playing at a practice rink all year, but like, having NHL staff at every game and every practice, just being under a microscope, like, in junior, like you think they'd probably come out to a few games here and there, but like every practice, every game was, being watched. So it was a good time, learned a lot, played pretty good for the most part for the course of the season. And it definitely kind of helped me out as a player and like helped, I guess helped push my envelope a bit. I think I had a good year.
And you guys had a young group for an AHL team. Like a lot of the younger guys were there. So, living in LA, how was that aspect of the season?
It honestly, it didn't even matter if we were in like Cincinnati, like, cause we weren't allowed to do anything. We weren't allowed to go out to restaurants. We weren't obviously allowed to go out. We weren't allowed to hang out with each other. We weren't allowed to walk inside
Did they enforce it and stuff?
Yeah, like it was crazy. And obviously like you never know like who could get called up and stuff. So it would suck for you to get called up and to get COVID, and like that was your opportunity. Like that's something we all kind of thought about, you know what I mean?
Yeah, true. And just like, is there any funny stories worth telling on here from that season? Maybe on or off the ice, like anything kind of notable stick out?
Trying to think of some I can actually tell. I don't know.
Yeah, it's always one that you can tell.
Honestly, so many things happened in such a weird year. I mean, I got a slap shot to the face, and like that was crazy. I ended up like I thought I died, to be honest, because the guy was winding up, and I just when you just know like the puck is coming up, so I just felt my face kind of get hit, and like I actually for a second I didn't know like where I was. I actually thought I died. So when I like kind of caught my breath and stuff, I was like, shit, I lived. Like it was crazy, and then ended up coming back to the game. So that was kind of.
You lose any jibs or what?
No, it literally like it hit me like in the forehead, man. Like I had my forehead was massive, but It was weird. I don't know how that happened. And then obviously that game I played with like Q and Smith Pelly, like first black line and
That was sick.
whatever. So that was really cool. I remember having like I think the worst game of my season. And then like in the last 3 minutes I like had a Hattie. So and then I scored in shootout too. So that was insane because like it was gonna be my worst game and then it ended up being like such a cool night to remember. You know what I mean? So it was it was a crazy year. Like a lot of stuff happened. So
Bro, I actually, because I remember that, because like there was big posts and everything about that, and then you guys were like doing like all game, like average, because I kept checking. I'm like, hopefully the boys put up a few points here and stuff like that.
yeah.
But then yeah, you just popped off, quick hat trick in like whatever 3.5 minutes, and then the shootout tuck too to just kind of put the night over the top. So that must have been like unreal.
Yeah, and honestly, like it was pretty lucky, man. It was I don't know
Yeah.
how that happened. I think the first one went off like I think a stick and went like top cheese, and the second one went off like it looked sick from the video, but like went off like a D's shin pad and went like top corner, and then the third one went like squeaked 5-hole. It was just it was crazy.
Yeah. I mean, we could be here all day, like if we really picked at your brain for some stories and stuff. But we want to go into like your clothing line, Zale, and like, do you want to just tell us like what it's all about and how it started?
Yeah, guess when I was 15, we kind of officially started. I started like I was selling T-shirts when I was 13, and they're just like really cheesy, like hockey, like Kong Show shirts. So like I don't even want to tell you guys what I was putting on these shirts because it was just so
Give us one.
like oh like I don't know like a T-shirt that says like Dirty Dangler or something like it was brutal. Like stuff you dig when you're 13. Like oh it's sick man yeah. So I was just selling that to like my hockey buddies and my school buddies and like I was just like oh like there's some money to be made here and like growing up like things were pretty tight with my family. I had 4 siblings and my parents kind of moved to Canada for me so I could play hockey. So I just felt like I could be independent and I found an avenue to do so. So I basically just started Zale in 2015 with a good buddy of mine who went to Brock and
Cardsy was the goalie for the lacrosse team. Guy's a maniac.
yeah, he's insane, but yeah,
We had a couple good nights actually, him and Elo at the bars there.
I bet. Like, I mean, we were doing it, but I think we've seriously started to do it like in the last like year. Like we were obviously doing it like as much as our schedules could allow us to, but now we have like employees, we have like meetings at a certain day, certain time of week. Like it's a big thing now. Like it's kind of like a full-time gig away from the rink type of thing.
Yeah, and it's like you mean like you have a busy season and everything, and I always talk about this on the pod. Like it's nice to like just come and sit here for an hour and like talk like business and stuff, like meetings like that. So it's something that gets you away from the rink.
Yeah, and like I'm the type of guy where I think about hockey like 24/7. So like anything that gets my mind off of it is good because you don't want to be thinking about hockey 24/7. You go to the rink every day. Like you don't want to be hockeyed out. And at the end of the year, like it's like you just don't want to go to the rink at the end of the year. So it's good for me mentally just to kind of put my time and my energy towards something else sometimes too.
It's awesome, man, and potential after career for you as well. But do you remember after one Niagara game, I think you were driving me home and you signed my favorite Zale hat for me. You remember that?
Yeah, I think I do remember that. Yeah, I remember like you asked me to sign your hat. I was like, and I was dropping you off. I was like, "Is this guy serious right now?" Like,
oh yeah, serious. And you got mad because I took a Snapchat of you signing it, and you were like, "I'm not doing this on video."
Oh yeah, well, like I don't know, like I'm just some random 17-year-old.
Oh man, that was Rask, you're fanboying over Akil there.
I was, man. I really was. Sick.
We want to know, like, obviously you're on the Showbound podcast today, but like you have your own podcast, Soul on Ice, and it's no slouch. Like, you guys are an amazing podcast and like are doing an amazing job of that as well. And do you mind just like telling us like all about that and like the success you guys have had, like verified on Insta, some huge
Oh, yeah.
guests on there and stuff like that. So like, I think it's awesome that we're getting you on to be able to kind of talk about your side of the podcast as well.
And just before you answer, can you also talk about why you started it?
Yeah. Well, honestly, like my best friend and I was Elijah Roberts, and like we actually like Cardsy knows like appearances and stuff. Like it's just you go like visit schools, talk to kids or whatever, and like I guess the team knew Elijah and I were boys, so they paired us up like every single appearance, and like different staff members would like drive us to the appearances and stuff, and like we're together for a good like 2.5 hours probably, because we go out for lunch or whatever after, and like Elijah and I, we have this different relationship where like we just chirp each other like all day, like just like we're interesting friendship, I guess. And so I guess the staff, like you guys should like do something together, because it's like you guys are hilarious to listen to and stuff. And like that was going on for years, like they were telling us, and then like one day we were just like, you want to start a podcast? Like it was basically when the seasons just like got suspended and we had like a bunch of time, and like the first month I was just like playing chell and like drinking beers with the boys, like, and it just got old, and I was like, I need to do something, like I don't know. So that's basically like exactly when it started, when we're like, okay, let's like do this. And there's a documentary called So All Nice the movie, and I was like, Elijah and I were actually a part of that, and so we knew that there's kind of a platform there, right? Like there was a following there, like people are familiar with the brand like So All Nice, and they know what it's all about. So I guess Elijah and I are just like, we wanted to start a podcast, and we're both black hockey players, and we kind of wanted to have, you know, a community for like black, like young black hockey players to feel like they have a community like they can be a part of, you know what I mean? Like going to every rink, you know, you see basically just white kids in every locker room, white kids on your team, and just an avenue for, you know, younger black kids to be like, oh, there's many like black hockey players. Like I can be a hockey player even though my skin color is different. You know what I mean? So that's kind of the basis on it. And we've had obviously different guests and stuff like that. It's been fun. Obviously, I'm a busy guy, so I gotta like we've taken a pretty long break just now, so we'll figure out how we're gonna move forward. But it's been pretty fun so far.
Yeah, and you guys have done unreal with that. So like, congrats on that.
Yeah, thanks. But you guys have been killing it too. How many followers you guys have? Like a shit ton. Eh?
We're up there.
We're on the upswing.
And, I saw like when you guys posted like you're one of the top listening podcasts in Canada or something like that for hockey. I don't know. But
we were hanging up at 3, if we can humble brag ourselves, Cards. We
but they were buzzing up there too at the time. I remember, because they had a huge episode one weekend. You guys were like, they were up there in the top 10 too, I think.
But sick, because obviously, you know, I remember when you guys started, I think. So just to see you guys kind of like quickly, you know, gain followers, and your content's really good. It's like you guys are killing it. Like
cheers, bro.
Thanks, Akil.
Pump the boys' tires a bit.
Gonna cry. Okay. We do this thing. We just kind of brought it in. It's called, so we're gonna do personality questions, hard hitting questions, and then we'll finish up with the fan questions. So we got a bit, Cards. Maybe we will cut a few off actually.
We have been buzzing for a while. You can
keep it's been going if
you want.
Yeah, it's been going on. We'll cut a few off, but this one's a classic personality question. If you had to survive for a month on a deserted island with 3 other members of the LA Kings organization, who would they be? Like players or staff or prospects, whatever.
Wow. Yeah. You know what? My 2 roommates now are beauties, so definitely 2 of them.
Who are they?
Matt Villalta.
Okay.
Third, Jacob Mauvier. I don't know how you pronounce it, but we're good buddies, and he's hilarious. So those 3 guys.
So get some comedy going out on the island for a bit.
Yep.
How would your teammates describe you?
I don't know actually. I've never really thought about that, to be honest. I don't know. I don't know if
Guy
I'm
to guy?
funny. I don't know if I'm loud. I don't know if I'm quiet. I don't know. I'm just like I don't know. Um,
Okay.
Hey,
You
we'll
don't
get
have to have an answer.
never thought
we'll
about.
we'll get we could get Q back on and he'll give us the answer to that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you don't have a lot of free time, but when you do, how do you like to spend it?
I actually started playing the guitar last year, but like I wouldn't say I started playing. I would say like I started to try to learn. It's super hard. So,
Are you singing too or what?
oh fuck no, never. Um, but yeah, like I like to read, watching Game of Thrones right now. I like to watch shows. Gabe and I we play tennis like once a week, maybe sometimes once every other week. So we like to kind of get active on off days. Obviously, we live really close to the beach, so every weekend the guys are at the beach hanging out like once a weekend. So that's pretty much it. Life is really chill here, and there's
Yeah.
lots to do. So
LA guy now. What's your favorite ice cream flavor?
cotton candy.
Nice.
Okay, interesting. And how do you eat a cupcake?
I actually, that's a really good question for some reason because I don't like the icing. I just wipe the icing off, and I like the actual like whatever it's called, like
The
the
cake.
The rest of it,
yeah, like the cake. I don't like
Yeah.
the icing. It's too much. Like it just makes me feel like too much sugar in me.
Okay.
Yeah, it's way too rich. I'm the same way.
It's a weird
That's all
question.
for personality though. We're gonna buzz through some hard hitting questions here. We'll see how deep your answers are. We've had some good responses lately. So first, do you think we're living in a simulation?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Do you think that artificial intelligence will eventually overrun humans?
uh, that's a really good question. I don't think so, just because I think they easily could, but like obviously the people who are like designing them and everything like that, like they're smart enough to know what boundaries not to cross because they know that it probably could.
But one
Yeah,
day it'll be easier to make that stuff like hundreds of years down, and then it might not be the smartest people, and then eventually we're screwed.
yeah. One day though,
There's going to be like a lot of regulations and shit because it's obviously that's something we're like talking about now, and we're not even
Yeah.
like virtually like close to anything like that. So the fact that it's like kind of like feared upon now is the reason why I think it won't ever happen, because there's going to be 7 billion or probably 8 billion people on earth like trying to stop it.
There's
I
gonna be a
think
war one day, like humans versus the AI. It's gonna be sick.
It's going to be sick.
one day we're gonna get bumped off the power play half wall because they just took over. So, what is the meaning of true love?
uh I don't know.
You know this one, Akil. Come on.
I don't know, man. I couldn't tell you.
All right.
That's a cop out answer.
What would you say to your 10-year-old self?
I was like really, really good at hockey when I was 10. So I would just say like I was like sick. So I would just be like, yo, keep it going. Well, because I was like probably like top three like players my age when I was like 10 years old. Like I won MVP of the brick and stuff. So I would just be like there's gonna be a lot of players becoming better. Just keep trying to be the best, you know?
Yeah, humble
Okay.
brag. I was second team All Star. I might add at the brick. Not
Oh,
quite,
yeah.
not quite MVP, but second team All Star. I'll take it.
Boys are
Bulldogs
buzzing.
or pro hockey.
Pro hockey. You?
Oh, there we go. Pro hockey. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, good lad, good lad. I don't like the Bulldogs, boys.
Yeah, no, me neither. I was gonna leave this if you're on the Bulldogs, to be honest.
Yeah, would have had to for sure.
Yeah, we can take it into the fan questions, last thing we have, and then get you going on your way. But everyone wants to know what stick you use and what specs.
Oh, I actually just changed my curve. I guess like I mean I'm basically a Bauer guy now, so using the Hyperlight one, and my new like I was using P28 last year, like a Pasternak P28, and like next year I'll basically be using like like a P92 blade, but like with more toe. So it kind of looks like if you were to like take away the blade, just look at the curve, it may look like a P28, but it's kind of like it's a P92 like blade. So it's like better for like shoot, like it's best for like shooting and stick-handling versus like a P28 is just good for like shooting. P90 is good for like stick-handling. Like, you know what I mean? So it's like kind of a hybrid.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. What's your pregame routine if you have one, or any superstitions?
Try not to have any because like my draft year especially, I was like so like into that because I wanted to like play good every game. And if I like kind of mess something up or if I didn't sleep, a certain amount of time, it would just screw with my head. So now I literally just do whatever I want on game days and I think nothing of it.
Yeah.
That's the best way to do it. Best chirper you've ever played with?
Matt Broussard actually, maybe. Yeah,
Okay.
I remember I hated him. I hated him so much. So like when we played together, I was like, I see why I hated you so much because he just chirped everyone and like not fight him.
That's funny. Favorite guest you've ever had on your podcast? This one, I don't know if you can answer, but who knows?
It's a good question. There's been like so many. It feels like. This actor actually from LA, his name's Jordan Buhat. He was really good actually. He was a beauty, really easy to talk to. Like it seemed like he was running the interview basically. So yeah, he was a really good one. Yeah, actually, you know what? Brian Burke was unreal. Like obviously he looks so like kind of mean and like not like serious like on TV, but he's actually a really cool guy and like he's super easy to talk to. Like he was the opposite of what I was expecting, to be honest.
Okay. Yeah, I love him. Two more for you. How do you balance everything you have going on off the ice during the hockey season?
Yeah, I just like I'm really good at mentally like if it's a game day, like I mentally like can't even think about anything else to be honest, just because I'm like so kind of into it. Like I don't even like check my phone really, just because I know there's gonna be a bunch of things maybe I need to address or whatever. So I think I've just always done a good job at just when it's game day, like like if someone knows I have a game, like my mom, my dad, like they will not text or call me or anything on game day. So
Mhm.
be into that.
Okay. And last one. Hopefully you have one for this, but what's the best prank you've ever seen?
He's laughing, so we got something coming. Who
Well,
knows? Vince?
I'm a part of it. Basically, one of my best friends, his name is Yanni.
I
Um,
know. We used to be boys, man.
oh yeah, yeah. So we're at this party one time, and like he had a girlfriend for like many years,
Oh, did they
and
break up? Not to expose them.
oh yeah. They broke
Okay.
up a while ago, and basically like Yanni's a pretty sensitive guy, like really sensitive, and like my buddy was like, "Yo, like you should uh you should get someone to tell him like, yo, like I just saw like Grace and Akil like kissing." So
No.
so basically we went into like the laundry room and like told my buddy to tell him like, yo, like go tell Yanni like he just saw like Grace and Akil like walk into that room. So like we were standing there like waiting for him to walk in for like a good minute. So it was like really it was kind of awkward actually. So we walked in and like we heard like the door open. So like we kind of just like hugged each other, some weird stuff. And like he looked at us and like his eyes were like crazy. And then like he like literally ran out the party. And like so like we thought he was gonna like stay there and like we were just gonna get him, but like he left and like thought like it actually was going on. That was crazy. That was
Oh
Man,
my.
it was so funny, man, especially now because like he literally thought like his best friend and like it was crazy. Like it was nuts. It's funny.
Oh man, that is a good one, Cards. You got a good story there.
Yeah. And like it was a perfect guy too, because like he's just kind of like he would believe something like that. You know what I mean? And so when he saw it, like he literally ran. Like it was crazy.
I feel bad. Um. Anyway, I mean, Cards. You got anything before we end it here? That's all from me.
yeah, I just want to say thanks from us here. for taking the time out of your day. It was a long but fun interview, and wish you all the best moving forward this year. I know you got so much on your plate, but a lot of big things ahead. So thanks again, brother.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me on. Remember, Michael asked me a while ago, and I was so busy and stuff. So I had on my to-do list, and I'm pretty free these days. So it was definitely something I wanted to do.
All right. Appreciate it, man. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, no problem.
All right. I want to thank Akil for that one. It was really good. Really entertaining. A lot of stuff to talk about with him. And I thought it was a really, really good interview. What do you think of that, Cards?
Yeah, a lot of times we just talk about hockey on the podcast and stuff. And this was kind of cool because it's a guy that has, I don't know, similar interests as us. Like he has his own clothing brand. He has a podcast as well. So just good to see that side of another player and a guy who's going through the ranks, kind of similar to any other hockey player who went in the OHL and like myself and is moving up to pro and continues to pursue paths outside of the game. So it was good to see, and it was good to really hear about all that stuff for him. And he's got a lot going on and a lot of success coming his way. So nice to catch up with him and hear about it.
Yeah, exactly. Now we can get into the NFL weekly updates. So I'll just start off saying my Bills won again. And if I don't really care about the Packers, but they won again too. And so I'm happy for the week.
Yeah, so you're a satisfied fan for the week, and big win out of the Cowboys last night, Monday Night Football, just pure domination over the Eagles. What can you expect? Cowboys the greatest team on the earth. Eagles are poo. So glad to see them kind of double up on the Eagles last night and really just dominate the whole game. So big things ahead in Dallas, and Dak Prescott looked unreal. The run game, Tony Pollard, Ezekiel Elliott is looking dominant. So I think the Cowboys are going to really make some noise this year, although the NFC is very strong. But another good week of football.
Yeah, I was going to say, are the Cowboys good enough to actually make a run this year? And I'm actually asking because I don't know.
Okay, by the looks of it, yes. They hung right in there with the Bucs week one. They should could have won. Tom Brady made some magic, got a field goal at the end. Whatever. Tom Brady's the best QB in the world, the best athlete, arguably, in the world. So you tip your cap to him. And then the last 2 weeks, they've had a win over the Chargers, who are a legit team. And then this week, they dominate the Eagles. So they look real good. But the NFC stacked with teams you have team like the Rams are really good. The Bucs are obviously really good. And Packers, the list goes on.
Okay. Cool. So, that's is that all we got this week, Cards? If it is, you can take it away with the outro.
Yeah, I think that's all we got for this week. Just glad to be back. Really going to be able to focus on the Barrie Colts here moving forward. Super excited about the upcoming season for me. I know you got big things ahead. Your season starting next week. So yeah, we're both excited. We got new things on the go, and we got our podcast set up coming soon. So we're really excited about all that. It's getting a little bit chilly outside, but let's enjoy these last few days of nice weather before we really go into winter mode here in Ontario. So hope everyone enjoys this week, and we'll talk to you next week.